What's up, Panthers Nation? We're back today with another video. This is the post game of the London game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers against your Carolina Panthers. And we win big in that game by 9. And I'm very excited about this win. That puts us to 4-2, tie for first place with the Saints. Which means those Saints games are going to become very, very important. And Tampa is dropped off the table as I predicted. They're going to start dropping off the table very, very soon. And it's just going to be us and the Saints. The Falcons are still dropping, so we're looking good. We're looking good in the neighborhood, folks. So now we have a bye week. We have a bye week in between now and San Francisco. That's both good and bad. And I'll tell you why. The negatives first. The negatives are every time we have a bye week, the first game out of that bye week, we start trying to get back into our old habits and rhythm, and we just never seem to be able to do it in the first game out of the break until the second game. So you're going to see a lot of things that are going to go wrong in this 49ers game coming up in about a week and a half. Don't sweat it. That's my mantra right now. Don't sweat it, because the worst part about this bye week coming up this early is because we don't have that 2-week window to prepare for teams like Green Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta. Teams that we need to get wins against in order to win the playoff race and get in with either 9 or 10 wins. So here's my thought. Here's the good that it does. We have San Francisco and Tennessee before the trip to Lambeau. That's a good thing, because we know that if we get back on track, that we can get both of those wins. Now, that would put us at 6-2 going into Lambeau. But it's going to be a steep climb from there. Coach Rivera said today that he is not entertaining any talks about Cam Newton, especially not the reports, until he's 100% healthy. Here's the problem with that. Even if Cam comes out from this bye week with his ankle healed, he's still going to have to deal with that shoulder. And we'll never truly know if that shoulder is 100% or not. We've had how many seasons, and I still don't believe that they fully repaired that thing. I don't think they ever will. So you go into the bye week, it does grant Cam some time to heal. It grants Dante some time to heal. Greg Little, Dennis Daly over there at left tackle, and I believe I saw Eric Reed and possibly Shaq on that injury list. I don't know if I saw Shaq or not. But the thing is, we need this bye week right now in order to heal these guys up. Uh, Everyone's talking about the quarterback battle. Everyone's talking about how Christian McCaffrey is the MVP of the team. Everyone is talking about all the all the big things that matter, except for left tackle. First of all, second of all, the cornerback battle between Dante Jackson and Ross Cockrell. No one's talking about that one. And the third thing they're not talking about is Joey Sly's wide right field goals. Now let's discuss that for a second. I was looking through the London game notes, and I didn't want to do this video until I've already looked through the highlights and the game notes and all the stats that I could get my hands on, to do this properly. But you'll notice, if you've been paying attention, we missed, what, 2 field goals wide right in London? He missed at least one last game before that. And I believe 1 or 2 before that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'll let you guys take a wild guess which direction those missed kicks went. It wasn't left. So, it's not necessarily an issue that we need to address immediately, because I believe that we can handle San Francisco and the Titans without a problem, without field goals really being that big of an impact. But I'd like to see if we can get that fixed before we go to Lambeau and face the Packers. Because Rodgers is famous for coming back and tying games and keeping those games within 5 to 10 points. Those field goals could make all the difference in that game in Lambeau. So we've got to make sure that we address this and get it fixed before then. We've got 3 weeks to do it. I have no doubt this team is capable of doing it. We'll see what happens. But it needs to be looked at and addressed. We cannot keep ignoring that problem, because we left 6 points on the board in London. We left 3 last week, at least, and 3 the week before. That's a lot of points, folks. Those points add up. And when you've got close games, like we did in the first Tampa game, and the game that we're going to be playing in Lambeau, it makes all the difference. You need every point you can get. They come at a premium in those types of games. So, I'm not doing grades this week. I'm just going to go down the list of who I saw that was really, really standing out, that caught my attention in the stat books. And it shouldn't really come that much of a surprise, because we know this team by now. We've seen the patterns the last 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Nothing new. Shaq Thompson's terrible in coverage, but he's great at tackling. So a lot of those passes that I saw in the stat book, I'm going to take a wild guess that a good chunk of those were over the middle. We did force Winston and all these other quarterbacks along this 4-game winning streak to throw it towards Bradbury's side of the field. And that played to our advantage. Bradbury got 2 interceptions, and we had 7 turnovers go our direction in that game. 7. Not bad, defense. Not bad. We're on our way. I noticed that we did not turn the ball over even once, except for 7 punts. And punts are a part of the game. We're going to have dead drives, no problem. But the biggest thing is we didn't turn the ball over. And that's been a habit every week. We've given up at least one turnover every game. So I'm really proud of this team for not giving up the ball. Kyle Allen held the ball in his hands. He didn't lose it. And Winston did. So here's the deal. We've got Curtis Samuel making some noise in this game. We've got Christian McCaffrey doing his thing. CMC the GOAT. I mean, he's just making national headlines at this point. All over ESPN, all over the national news. People are talking about him on sports shows. What else do you expect? And, I seem to remember a lot of these fans messaging me wanting us to draft Fournette. Here's Crow. Here's some Crow for you. Everybody that wanted us to draft Fournette, here's some Crow. Enjoy it. Because CMC has just been going off. It's been amazing to watch. It's really been amazing to watch. Oddly enough, I had somebody actually offer me a Christian McCaffrey jersey. Imagine that. I'm still waiting on that, by the way. If a certain someone has been watching my videos, there you go. Even if he hasn't, I want to thank you for that offer, and I gladly accept. But we're looking at this bye week in a very, very favorable light. We're in a position of strength. And when I say that we have a chance to come out of Lambeau 7-2. I was watching the Green Bay and Detroit game on Monday night, and Green Bay seems vulnerable. I didn't think it was going to be possible at this stage of the season for Green Bay to look vulnerable. Now, I didn't say they should be underestimated. I should say they are vulnerable. Big difference. Don't misunderstand that. If we go into Green Bay and we do exactly what we've been doing with Kyle Allen under center, left tackle shored up, force Rodgers to throw toward Bradbury for 75% of the game, and we plug up that run, most of those passes over the middle will possibly be for first downs, but it won't be that big of a deal. You'll have Luke Kuechly coming in to help clean up behind Shaq in coverage and hopefully get a pick. So it shouldn't matter if we do everything that we're supposed to be doing. That means clean up our act by that point. Get back on track after the bye. And stay on track. Now, I will say this. After bye weeks, we've had a little bit of a change in how we do things from before we went into the bye week. That can be good or bad. We'll see how that shakes out. Typically, it hasn't gone our direction. If you look back towards when we started out like 0-3 or 1-3, and then we go into the bye week and we get a positive game out of it, coming out of it, changing things up, and we start using that formula, we start winning games. That's happened a few times back in 14 and 15, if I remember right. So, if we can use that coming out of the bye week to not go lazily into our next two games, but to stay on track and keep that formula going, we'll have two more wins on the board going into Lambeau. I don't really want to speculate after Lambeau what might happen because there's a lot that can change in between now and then. Specifically with trading, we just saw two trades today that just picked up. The Rams got involved. Baltimore's been involved in a couple of the trades. Now, I bring up trades because of the quarterback battle that is brewing. And I acknowledge it. I fully acknowledge it because it is brewing up a storm in Carolina right now. People are talking about it all over the nation. So, here's the big question for everybody here. Should we stay with the hot hand Kyle Allen, get those wins, and keep it rolling? Or should we bring back Cam? A lot of Cam supporters are going to automatically gravitate towards Cam. That's expected. It's the people in the middle that are misinformed or don't know the full 9 yards of what we're doing with here that I'm addressing at this point. Because we know the Cam loyalists are going to say Cam. That's just point in fact, point the finger, it's done. They're not even going to sway. It's the ones that are on the fence. Here we go. Now, hear me out. This is going to be devil's advocate, but hear me out. What if, and there's been talks of 10 teams interested if we were to trade Cam Newton. 10 teams. 10, folks. That means he's still got some major market value. Maybe as a backup, maybe as a starter. Depends on the team. Now, if anyone has heard of who those 10 teams are, here's my next question. Yeah, definitely drop those team names below if you know them. If you've heard anything, drop them below. We'll discuss it in the comments below. And I'll probably make a video just specifically on this subject. So the next subject question on this is, what would they offer? And I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, but what would they offer? I'm interested to hear what people have to say. My ears are open. My mind is open. My ears are open. And my heart is open to these suggestions. Now, I didn't say we should take any of them. I'm just saying. I know most people are not going to want Cam gone. Not yet. But I'd like to know what they might be offering. Let's see what's on the table. It can't hurt, right? Here's the other thing. Now this might upset some people in this fan base, but hear me out. Hear me out, because We have nothing to lose here. My suggestion is try Cam for one quarter of both the 49ers game and the Titans game. One quarter. That's it. One quarter. That's all he gets. See how he does. And here's why I back this suggestion up. Every game, we have punted at least 3 times. Second reason, we turn the ball over at least once a game. Third reason, Kyle can get us out of the hole. We're not losing anything, folks. Because of the fact that we managed to not turn the ball over in London, gives me even more hope that this idea will work. And we'll know exactly what we're dealing with. Throw him in there. 100% or not. Let's see what he can do. Out of the bye week, he should be healed enough. Let's see what he can do. If he's still got trade value, we'll discuss it. If he's still going to be good enough to keep his starting job, we'll discuss it. That's my suggestion. And I've already sent that in a tweet to Ron Rivera. So we'll see what happens. He doesn't have to take the suggestion. It's his team. Team's on his shoulders. He can do what he wants. But all I'm saying is, why waste 3 quarters of the game when we could just get all those over with right there? Why waste 3 quarters of a game where we could just punt the ball 3 times in the first quarter, if Cam doesn't work out? If he does, it'll be 2 punts. Maybe even 1. I mean, we have nothing to lose that we haven't already lost in every single game that we played in this 4-game winning streak that Kyle can't get us out of. So I see no reason to believe that this will not work. And, I have a couple of other ideas if we should decide we want to trade him. But that's for another video. Either way, I want to celebrate this win. This 4-2 going into the bye week feels really, really good, and we haven't had that in a long, long time. So, I'm excited. You guys should be too. We're looking at 6-2 going into Lambeau. Let's get it done. Now, do not underestimate the Titans. A couple of teams have made that mistake so far this year. Do not underestimate them. They've got a lot of weapons. But we'll do one problem at a time. Niners are next. We've got 2 weeks to prepare for the Niners. Easy pickings. We should be able to handle them. Even with our bye week issues, where we change stuff up, we should be able to take them. If we follow mostly the same formula, I think we've got it. I see no reason to believe that we don't. But once we get to the Titans, do not underestimate them. That is a team that is on the rise. But I believe that we can get that win as well and go 6-2 going into Lambeau. I believe it. I believe it, so do other people. I think we've got a shot. So, let's enjoy this win. Let's enjoy this bye week. Let's enjoy every bit of it. We've earned it. 7 turnovers. 4 interceptions. Oh, man. I'm happy as a clam right now. I wasn't able to watch the game, but for the most part, but what I did see, I was very, very happy with. Let's enjoy the victory. Keep pounding.